Let's get underway here with our MLB rundown. Ramon Scott, all 15 games here from Major League Baseball. So let's get it started here. Here at the early game, 6 Eastern time, these Tigers, boy, they've been playing well here. They're on the road here against the Guardians, facing another team that's lacking offense. Guardians here, big favorites, minus 189, the total 7.5.
Yeah, we've talked about some of the teams that have been surprises this year. It's been a kind of a nice situation in Major League Baseball, the way some of the teams have performed. But we definitely can throw the Tigers in there now with their streak, having won 6 of their last 7 games, just moving 2 games within 500 so far, a month into the season. Hats off to the Tigers. I'd say it's certainly, maybe right about expectations. I mean, 2 games under is not overwhelming yet, but certainly this has been a good streak for Detroit. And to come in here against the Cleveland team with Bieber, well, they have gone 2-5 in his starts. He has pretty decent numbers, certainly, with a 3.21 earned run average for Lorenzen. I almost called him Jared Lorenzen. The throwback there. Michael Lorenzen, 6.43 ERA in his 4 starts. Tigers have gone over in 9 of their last 11. Cleveland's been a pretty solid under here, but just like the way that Detroit is going a little bit right now. And I think with this number currently, let's see, what do you got there on the screen at 7.5? Oh, man, juice to the under. You know I'm on the over in this one, Tony. I'm going to take the over with these two right now.
All right, it says take over here, Tigers and the Guardians. Let's continue here on our rundown. And next game up here will be nice one here, 6:35 Eastern time with the Rays with Zach Eflin on the hill against Baltimore Orioles, Grayson Rodriguez. We see Rays now up to minus 135, total of 8.
Yeah, still seems like we're getting some pretty nice prices on these Rays at this point, but Baltimore's been absolutely terrific as well. I mean, they'd be a big story right now if it wasn't for the Rays. Baltimore already 9 games over 500. Eflin, we called him a reclamation project earlier in the season. Right now, he's been downright effective. They've won his starts. He's 4-0 with a 2.25 earned run average so far. He's gone under in 3 straight starts. For Baltimore, Rodriguez, ERA just under 4 over his last 3 starts. These teams definitely been putting up some overs here, but I'm going to end up going under in this one, Tony. I like one right now. I like to see period from the Rays for sure, but you see the heavy move here to the under, and there's no value in this necessarily. I can't give it out right now as a premium, but this one got steamed to the under, and I've got to respect this move to the under. Not getting the best price here, but under 8, I'm still willing to do it. I'm going to take under 8 runs, Rays and O's.
Ramon says under 8 here, Rays and O's in this battle. Flint and Rodriguez. Let's continue on here on the rundown. Guys, we covered NHL and NBA already. If you want to see those picks, just finish this segment and reverse back to the beginning of the show. Next game up here, Rockies and the Pirates. They were a low-scoring game last night. Tonight, Connor Seabold on the hill for Colorado, and the youngster Luis Ortiz here for the Pirates.
Yeah, Seabold, okay, 3 runs in his 5 innings pitch in his first start of the season, and the Rockies have been a pretty steady under right now on the road. They've gone 2-10 to the under so far on the road. So Ortiz, we did see him last year make some starts. He went 0-2 with a 4.5 ERA, but has looked very solid so far in his AAA starts this season. 2.23 earned run average. Like those numbers, certainly. I'm not sure that we'll see a lot of runs in this one in Pittsburgh tonight. I like the fact that you have some guys here that maybe haven't had a look at them necessarily in this spot with teams that certainly we know Colorado's been ineffective. Pittsburgh definitely come back to the pack just a little bit of late. I'm going to end up taking the under this one, Tony, under the 8.5. Obviously been a move here. It was mostly 9s to open. So follow the moves, as we used to say back in the day. Going under.
Ramon says go under here, Rockies and the Pirates. We'll continue here on the rundown, joined by Ramon Scott, top handicapper in the industry. When you look at the document numbers here, 7,200 units of profit based on a 100-unit wager. Show me someone documented better than that. I haven't seen it. I've been asking this question for over a month now, and no one. Trust me, if there was somebody out there, I would have heard about it. All right, let's continue on here on the rundown, joined by Ramon Scott. Next up, we go for a pretty good matchup here: Blue Jays and the Phillies. Alek Manoah will be on the hill for Toronto. Aaron Nola for the Phillies.
Yeah, now you guys know why I keep coming back to do these shows every day. Keep my hype man going. All right, appreciate it, Tone. Yeah, and this one, Toronto and Philadelphia here, two of your favorites, Tony. Well, Manoah, look, they've won 4 of his 7 starts, but now all of a sudden his last 4 starts, 5.82 ERA. Nola 2-0, 3.62 ERA in his last 4 starts. Phillies struggling a little, certainly right now. Have lost 6 of their last 7. It's kind of been on the pitching a little bit. Toronto's definitely been going over here, but the steam came in on the over, and that's pushed this one up to 9, and that puts me back on the under in this one, Tony. Just getting to that magic number for me. There's not a lot of art to this one. I'm just going more with the science, and the fact that we got up to 9 here in teams that, well, the Blue Jays have been producing of late runs and overs, so it's Philly, but with Manoah and Nola, I think Manoah comes back a little bit here, and this one gives a decent effort. I'm going to go under at 9 today.
Ron Scott says go under 9 Blue Jays and Phillies. Let's continue here on the rundown. Pitching change here. Mets and the Reds here. Scratch Scherzer. Looks like David Peterson will go here. The lefty is now showing up on my board right now here against Luke Weaver. Mets minus 156, total of 10. I don't know if that odds is reflected of the pitching change. I don't know.
Let's see. What did you say it was there on this one?
I've got 156. It may be because Scherzer would have been a bigger favorite than that. I think that is reflective here of the pitching change. Yeah, it is reflective.
Yeah, 160 and the total 10. Yeah, certainly okay. See that there, but yeah, Tony, this one, news is just broken within the about the last 20 minutes or so. So my notes are going to be a little off for this one. Let's see here what I have my Peterson numbers ready to go, but again, this one just within the last, I want to say it was about 10 minutes after the top of the hour. We were just coming on the air when that notice broke across the timeline there. I was leaning under with Max in this one, and I would say right now I'm probably going to end up I think we can stick with that number at 10. This is basically just a market situation, 10 over 15 or so. It's funny because that total kind of was drifting up even with Max in there, certainly. And we know, the game in Cincinnati, Max could give up the homers, but I'll take it over, Tony. I don't want to be held to this one too much at this point. This game's going to need a little bit further investigation, but maybe I could pop something up later on the side on a Twitter play or something. So apologize for the late move there. Nothing we can do, I guess. I'll recommend the under still at 10 runs.
Under 10 runs on the pitching change. David Peterson in for Scherzer. It looks like Scherzer maybe headed to the... They were talking about putting him on the injured list. We'll see how that rolls. Let's continue on here on the show. On the rundown here, next up we have Athletics and the Yankees going back head-to-head here. We got Drew Wazinski on the hill for Oakland, Clark Schmidt for the Yankees. And we see the Yankees big favorites as expected, minus 258, total of 9.
The 258, though, I guess that's going to be expected, but certainly that's a pretty big increase, especially at the sharp buck. That's pretty crazy. I would think the money's probably going to be rolling in on the Yankees here. It feels like to me, Racinski's got an ERA close to 10 in his last 2 starts. In this 2 starts, I should say, and the Yankees. Schmidt, 6.75 ERA and doesn't have a win yet. He has gone under in all 5 of his starts. Maybe the Yankees, though, still getting it together. 12-8 at home. They haven't been terrific of late, but the A's just 3-10 on the road in this one. I would think the Yankees can produce some runs. I know they've been a big under team so far this season. Maybe they've been in some games where they haven't been able to produce. I would think against Racinski at home here. You see the total. We've seen a lot of Yankee games that are, 7.5s. When they're in decent pitching matchups, and you see this total at 9, I think that's good enough for me to go over in this one, Tony. Steam came in on the under here, down from 9.5, even touched 8.5 at one point, so we've seen it push back up, and I'm going to end up on the over here, Oakland and the Yankees.
Everyone says go over. Remember that dreadful Oakland bullpen. Racinski may be good for 4 or 5, and you got to deal with that Oakland bullpen back end. You can understand the move there. 9, and of course that big move from the opener of 210 all the way to 258 in this one. Let's continue on here on the rundown.
Here comes the money. Yeah.
Yep, that is big money there. Next up, we have Red Sox and Braves. This is your national televised game over on TBS. We got the Braves here, minus 178 behind Morton. Red Sox bringing back plus 163 with Nick Pivetta on the hill.
Yeah, like I said, it feels like the Red Sox have kind of got lost in the mix here a little bit as, people forgetting a little bit about them, but they've started to heat up, obviously, winning 7 of their last 8 games right now. And the Braves just as hot, so great TV game here. They've won 10 of their last 13 games, really have done most of their damage on the road. And I would think here, though, Boston, I think they can certainly compete in this one. Morton does have a pretty strong record career-wise against Boston, but I don't know if it's totally reflective of the current roster. He's 7-1 lifetime against the Red Sox, but I think the Red Sox are playing well enough right now. I'm going to add the handicap here, Tony, at minus $1.20 or so. Yeah, I'll take Boston this one. Give me a 1.5. Boston run line with Pivetta. He's got 5.5 ERA in his 6 starts, but I don't know. I like the way Boston's starting to perform. They're not striking out a lot. They're hitting with contact, and I just see a goal right here. It looks like in the soccer game for Real Madrid. So interesting there. Just want to throw that in there. But I think Red Sox tonight in this one plus the 1.5.
Ramon says, hockey's on his mind the way he's running in hockey. Check out Leaderboard 2.0. Ramon's been on fire in hockey. Red Sox, the run line plus 1.5 run, minus 119 here against the Braves. I'm going to go back to this Yankee game. I forgot to mention this, Ramon. Aaron Judge back in the lineup here for the Yankees.
Yeah, maybe that's what people are catching wind of, and maybe that's why that price has gone up. I want to see a few games, certainly, from someone coming back off of such rest. We're not going to slide Aaron Judge. He certainly could go out there and smash tonight, but with his swing, it may take just a few to get rolling here in this one. Does help my cause, I guess, with him being in the lineup if I'm going over tonight. And like I said, Yankees getting obviously public action here. I'm showing 75% of the tickets currently. You mentioned that number, and I'm showing Square Books right now, Tony. You've got the Sharp Book up there. You see 258, but I'm showing Square Books offshore as high as 280 right now.
Wow. All right. We just want to backtrack to that game. Wanted to mention news here about Aaron Judge. Let's continue on here on the rundown. Joined by Ramon Scott. We just saw the line move on this one here. Cubs and the Cardinals here in this one. We've got on the hill here Flattery, who's had issues with walks against Jameson Taillon. Cubs favored minus 120. Total set 7.5.
I saw pitching chain news come in, and that Judge news. I don't know why. I was prepping for the show a little bit. I had a little technical issue. I couldn't get back on with you, and I missed that one. It popped up there at about noon, and I missed that. Good job, Tony. Thank you there. And all right, let's take a look here with the Cards and the Cubs. A couple of old rivals certainly in this one. And look, right now it's not what you want to see from either team at this point, right, Tony? I mean, if anything, we've made fun of the Cardinals all season, but don't look now. The Cubs have struggled as well, losing 12 of their last 18 games, and they have Tyone on the hill, and he hasn't been able to get anything going really so far this season. 5.82 ERA, and the Cubs have lost all four of his starts. For Flaherty, he's gotten shelled in his last two games, giving up 15 runs in his last two starts, just 7 innings. So they've been going over. 5 of the last 6 have gone over for the Cards. All four straight overs for Flaherty. So Cubs have been a giant under of late. Winds blowing in, no doubt. 10 to 15 miles an hour, but I'm not sure these pitchers are just pitching well enough to take advantage. The total obviously has gone down here to 7.5. I would imagine has strongly to do with the conditions tonight. I'm going to still take it to sneak over here in this one, despite those conditions. Cardinals 2-game winning streak. Look out! They were 3-15 before that.
That's right, they were. And of course, a catching change there, Ramon, here in this one. Let's continue on here on Game Day Picks. It's our Major League Baseball rundown. Ramon here on Tuesday runs down all professional sports here this time of the year. No morning steam today, back tomorrow. So Ramon gives you a full rundown of picks here from those three sports. Let's continue here on our rundown. We go to Major League Baseball for tonight. It's the Dodgers and the Brewers. Tonight we have Noah Syndergaard on the hill for the Dodgers here against Eric Lauer, the lefty, for the Brewers.
Yeah, Syndergaard, 6.33 ERA in his last 4 starts. The Dodgers, though, have won 12 of their last 17 games. Lauer, he's been bad. He's been good sometimes for the Brewers. He's been bad of late. 9.39 ERA in his last 2 games. Lost them both. Brewers have now lost 5 of 7 in this one. Tony, I would think that maybe runs could be in order tonight. You see that total? It's gone up from 9 to 9.5. I'm going to respect the move here in this one, considering the way these two lineups have been going. The Dodgers have gone over 10-5-1 in their last 16 games. The Brewers have gone over in 4 of their last 5. I'm going to take over tonight with two good clubs certainly right now. Both teams, well over 500 at this point and getting things together. So let's go over tonight at a 9.5. With the Dodgers and the Brewers.
Ramon says go over 9.5 Dodgers and Brewers. Noah Syndergaard's numbers have been horrible on the road this season. Let's continue on here on the show. Rundown here, talking about Ramon Scott. Next up, it'll be the White Sox and the Royals going head-to-head. Lucas Giolito on the hill for the White Sox. Jordan Lyles here for KC. White Sox favored -146, total of 9.
Well, speaking of runs, right now, the Royals seem to be involved in a lot of high-scoring affairs of late. They've gone over in 6 of their last 9 home games at this point. Lyles has a 7.5 ERA in 7 starts. He's perfect on the season, Tony. I always say that on the morning show, and I say it in jest. Perfect meaning the Royals are 0-7 when Lyles has been starting so far this season. Giolito, all of a sudden, he's back to being old Giolito for the most part. 2.36 ERA in his last 4 starts. Hasn't gotten a lot of run support right now so far this season. The White Sox just 1-6 with him on the mound so far, and it's been a struggle on the road for the White Sox. They've gone just 6-4. That's been a struggle overall. Who am I kidding? But the White Sox have gone over in 8 of their last 11 games. We saw the Royals in that wild series against the Athletics. I tried to get cute last night. I had 1 loss on the card in premium land, Tony. I tried to go under in this series. I'm not going to make that mistake today. Give me the over, White Sox and Kansas City.
Ramon says over 9 here, White Sox and KC. Let's continue on here on a rundown. Next up, this one has some weather impact here. 52% chance of rain tonight as Minnesota will host San Diego. The Twins will throw up Louis Varland on the hill. San Diego with Michael Wacha. We see this one line close to Twins -110, total of 9.
Yeah, I thought there was another 1 or 2 games I could have mentioned that maybe we could have mentioned the weather a little bit, but maybe you folks know out there what I'm talking about. Anyways, so the Padres make this one here, trip to Minnesota. Wacha, 4.8 ERA in his last 3 starts, and Varland, 5 ERA in his two starts so far. For me, two teams that are going under quite a bit of late, but I'm not so sure that I trust Waka here on the road against the Twins, and vice versa too. Want to see more from Barlow. We know we've seen him before, but hasn't been able to get much together of late. 9/15 is going to be a tough price to beat, but I'm not sure I can fade it either. I'm going to go over in this one with the Padres and Minnesota, weather permitting.
Weather permitting, over, says Ramon. Over 9 here, Twins and Padres. Next up on a rundown, Astros and Angels. Tonight, pitching matchup features Framber Valdez on the hill, a lefty for Houston. Shohei Ohtani, the right-hander for the Angels. Angels minus 137, total 7.5.
Yeah, and Tony, I keep saying it. I mean, Otani's the guy they don't give any help out of that bullpen. I argue every time over Angels bullpen up and down. It seems like Otani starts are the ones where he doesn't get the bullpen support. But the steam came in on the Angels. Looks like a pretty decent $1.37. I know that's up from an opener. There were some rogue openers as low as $1.20. I'm not sure what they were thinking about with Shohei on the mound. Framber Valdez, just a 4.5 ERA so far. Astros just 2-5 in his starts. Otani, mentioned that sometimes they end up giving up runs, but they still win those games. That's the amazing thing about it. Otani's 4-0, and the Angels are still 6-1 in those starts. It just seems like they end up getting into a little bit of hot water late and end up pulling it off, which is a good sign for the Angels because that's not necessarily how it's always been. So the fact that Houston not getting necessarily the best run support for Valdez, pretty good price. Tonight, I'm going to take Ohtani, of course. Why delay? Let's take Ohtani tonight. Lay $1.40 or less here. I lay $1. You could lay a little bit more than that if you need to, but I like Ohtani here tonight. Houston just 3-7 in their last 10. All of a sudden.
Ramon here on Angels minus 137 in this one. Let's continue on here on a rundown. Next up, Rangers and Mariners going head-to-head with Andrew Heaney, the lefty, on the mound for Texas. George Kirby, the right-hander for the Mariners. Mariners favored here at home, minus 156, total 143.
Yeah, I mean, I see the statistical mismatch as far as the pitching is concerned, but Texas is getting overlooked, I think, more than anybody out of the teams that are off to good starts so far with their 21-13 record. Sure, Haney has his ERA is starting to get up there a little bit. He's got a 6 ERA in his last 3 starts, and we'll note that 5 of his 6 starts have gone over. Texas has gone over in 5 of their last 7 games. Seattle mostly plays 2 and under, and the steam came in on the under, taking this one down to 7.5. But man, I'm going to like this Ranger lineup tonight. I think against Kirby for the most part. I'm going to end up on the over in this one with these two teams. Just like the way the Rangers are starting to do things. And Kirby's had some success against Texas, but I'm not sure I trust him long term, even with his good numbers so far. 2.43 ERA in his last 5 starts, but I'm going to take the over in this one now that it's down to 7.5.
Rowan says over 7.5 here with the Rangers and the Mariners. Let's continue our rundown. Our rundown for Major League Baseball on Tuesdays. Ramon goes through the rundown of every professional sport with a pick for you here on Tuesdays. We have already covered NBA and NHL, so we want those picks. Just finish this segment and reverse back to the beginning of the show for those plays. Let's continue on here on our rundown. Next up, we have Marlins and the Diamondbacks tonight. Jesus Luzardo, the lefty on the hill for the Miami Marlins. Brandon Fad, the right-hander for Arizona. Is this one's a close line here? Diamondbacks a slight favorite, the sharpest book, minus 105, total of 9.
That's the key for me, Tony. The Diamondbacks end up being favored here against a guy like Luzardo, who's starting to give it back certainly a little bit. Yeah, they are 5-2 in his 7 starts this season, but he has a 5.6 ERA, 0-2 record in his last 4 starts. The Marlins just 7-10 on the road this season. They're still perfect in 1-run games, 11-0. That's a great stat, no doubt about it. But Arizona now, they've won 7 of their last 10 games. I think I have hopes for Brandon Pfaadt moving forward. Did give up 7 runs in his first start. Arizona did end up winning that game, but I'm going to look for him to have a decent start here. I want to see more from him, certainly, but a pretty good prospect. And I'm going to end up taking the under in this one with Luzardo and Vaught here in this game, Tony. At 9, for sure, give me the under.
Ramon says under 9, Marlins and Diamondbacks. Let's continue on as we wrap up our Major League Baseball segment. Out west here on ESPN Plus TV game here, Giants hosting the Nationals. We've got Patrick Corbin, the lefty, Logan Webb, the right-hander, on the mound for San Francisco. Giants big favorites, minus 240. Total sits here at 8.5.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense, does it? I mean, I'm not necessarily on the drag Patrick Corbin through the mud every time. He is 0-2, but he has a 4.44 ERA. Gone under in 3 straight starts, but can't buy it. I can't buy the price. Even with Webb on the mound at his great numbers, he's performed well, certainly against Washington, but not for me, Tony. Not at 240 and not at plus 1.5 at a pick 'em. I'm going to have to take Washington on the run line. These teams have pretty much identical records so far this season. Yes, maybe to the public might look like a pitching mismatch on the mound. And sure, Webb is a very strong pitcher. We know Corbin, he's an innings getter at this point. Maybe he's actually been a little bit better than we all make fun of him for. But the fact that the total has gone up in a game in San Francisco, to me, indicates maybe there's going to be some volatility in this one. So give me the run line here. I'm going to take the Nationals. The price is just too high at this point. The rent's too high in San Francisco.
He says there it says Nationals your big dog plus 216 here against the
Run
Giants.
line, Tony.
Run line. Sorry, that's right. Run line. That's right. Run line. I was just looking at 216. Run line. Take the plus 1.5. Take the plus 1.5 here at minus 106
Yeah,
here.
if I could make something clear on that, Tony. So when I'm giving out a run line, certainly, and telling you that the money line is not out of play for anybody or me. I mean, it's definitely still worth a sprinkle. Just for grading purposes here with you on the show, I'm going to take that run line, but I have no problem if anybody wants to take the Nationals tonight, and they'll certainly see a few bucks from me as well on the money line.
All right, there you go. But the run line on the show, plus 1.5 runs, minus 106 here against the Giants. All right, we got through our Major League Baseball card. Again, if you're looking for the NBA or if you missed any of our games, just reverse the video back to the beginning, and you can watch the NBA, watch the NHL, and watch the entire MLB. If you just joined us here, the final few games, we covered all 15 games from Major League Baseball, 2 from NHL, 2 from NBA. So just go ahead and reverse. Shout out to Jim Pritchett in the chat room, if you would. All right, Ramon. Listen, Ramon, let's take a look over at Tony'sPicks.com. Today's action, again, we put up the numbers 7,208 units of profit for 2023. There's all documented over at Tony'sPicks.com. That's based on 100-unit wager. You can verify that by going to Ramon's handicapper page. Go down to pick history. You can verify all those plays. All right, Ramon, tonight, 15 games on the board. Major League Baseball, 2 on the ice, 2 on the hardwood. What do you have going on over at Tony's Picks?
Yeah, Tony, my paid picks over there are premium picks over there with our profit guarantee. Tonight I've got 2 packages. In Major League Baseball, I have a 3-pack for $30 over at Tony'sPicks.com. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout to pick up that Tuesday night 3-pack premium pass. I'm heating up in Major League Baseball, so while all the hype is surrounded in the basketball games, and try to give out my best picks for those. Tony, to be honest, the playoffs are tough, man. They're tough, and you want to give a pick out for them. And it's been good that we've been able to profit in those sports, but baseball is kind of where we're sneaking up and picking up the units night after night right now, because it's kind of like college basketball. When you got the high volume of games, you can kind of pick your spots a little bit, and we know the playoffs are always going to be tightly contested, even with the blowouts, so you just don't know one way or the other, or the road upsets, if you will. That's the nature of the playoffs. So pick up that playoff pack, though, with the 2 games in the NBA, and I have 1 in the NHL. I'm on one with Mindy over on our morning Steam picks as well. Just want to mention that our subscribers and anyone who wants to pick up our morning Steam package, even though we don't have a show, we have consulted with one another and do have picks that we have agreed on for our premium consensus subscribers. And oh man, I just think about when she gave me more opportunities, Tony. Actually, we should have capitalized on the show yesterday. Good job, Mindy. I don't want to say I let her down too much, Tony. We still having some good days, but she kind of laid some softballs in there, and I missed on those. Believe it or not, even though my number continues to be strong. So pick up these 2 packs, or grab a 3-day, a 7-day, a 30-day. Those long-term packages will reduce your costs with me if you subscribe to the picks, and uh, you get volume with me. That's what I'm all about. I'm giving everybody a chance to get on board and build your bankroll with me. You don't have to start off playing too big, especially if you get that 3-day, 7-day, or 30-day where the plays are reduced as far as cost is concerned. We have to step up our percentage, and like Tony said, not many are hitting well like me at this point here on the site. Tony, we say got to beat 52.38% to beat a pick'em price. You got to beat about 56.5% if you're a tout, and if you can roll 58, 59, even 60% like I am, you can pretty much guarantee yourself a nice supplemental income or more. We know that we're graded on $100 100 unit picks here on the site, but quite frankly, we know that everyone is probably going a little bit harder, especially with my numbers right now, and seeing a great profit. So imagine you're out there working hard for your salary, or maybe you're a semi-professional or professional gambler, and make sure you have my picks in your back pocket, because if you are playing not just 100, but if you're playing $200, $300 per game or more, imagine being up already, 14,000, 21,000. Just times that 7,000 number a couple of times if you're playing, close to a nickel a game, whatever the case may be. So what I just make the picks. What you do with us is up to you. But believe me, I'm working very, very hard. I'm proud of everything that Tony says, and I don't want to let my subscribers down. I don't want to let the team down. I don't want to let Mindy down. I put a lot of pressure on myself, good or bad, Tony. And I know that you tease me a little bit, but man, I just love this. I love touting. I love this industry. I watch all the shows. I watch all the sites. I'm not here to talk down to anyone or bad to anyone. I love sports betting, and I'm going to keep doing it until we can't do it no more. So grab these packages tonight. Get with me. Get on a roll. You can hang out with me in the Discord. When you subscribe to Ramon Scott, you got me. I'm all access here. I'm popping in the Discord all night, putting in not just some plays, but interesting tidbits, stories, stats, notes, interacting with people in the chat there. So subscribe with me. It's like being with me every night, rolling with me, and it's fun. So let's win together. If you have any problems, look, I know you're branching out on your own, whatever the case may be. You're entitled to it. Make your picks. Just make sure you have my plays in your back pocket. Make sure we can grab those units every night with me over here at Tony's Picks. We got some big things planned for these, for our followers, Tony, for the people who visit our website. They haven't seen anything yet.
That's right, guys. Once got over at Tony's Picks. Flash those numbers again. 7,208 units of profit. A document that's based on 100-unit wager over at Tony'sPicks.com. Top in the industry. You're not going to find a better number, better capper performance than Ramon Scott right now. You can get him right now over at Tony'sPicks.com for 2023. Right now over on the site, Ramon here with the plays up here. He's got a 3-pack here from Major League Baseball. Get on board with that. The first pitch in 6 hours. Also, he put together a 3-pack with playoff 3-pack with 2 from the NBA, 1 on the ice. And there you go with Ramon Scott here from Premium Land for tonight. Or if you prefer the longer term pass, the way Ramon's running, we have 3, 7, or 30-day pass. Why don't you get that 30-day all sports pass? Get all Ramon's premium plays for 30 days. That will include all the baseball for 30 days, all the NHL for 30 days, and NBA. Of course, that will get you right into about maybe halfway, maybe 4 games of the NBA Finals, many games of the NHL Finals. Remember, the NBA Finals begins on June 1st. So you get lots of coverage from the NBA here with that 1-month all sports pass. And of course, all Ramon's baseball as well. And don't forget the peripheral sports Ramon catches, like posts up there like soccer, I don't know, we'll be into the WNBA season by then, as well as his plays from golf, or if he has any picks here from tennis, I should say tennis, no golf. Tennis is what I meant to say there as well. So lots of action from Ramon Scott over at Tony'sPicks.com. And when you get that 1 month All Sports Best, we can't forget the UFC on the weekends as well. It also is possibly some Bellator action as well. So get on board there with Ramon Scott with that 1 month pass. We're going to do the math on the 1 month pass. You can save 20% off. That'll be $66 off that 1 month pass when you use that promo code TonyT at checkout. You can access Ramon's page by clicking the link you see there in the description. Click the All Cappers tab and you'll land right on Ramon's page. Go ahead and get signed up. All right, Ramon, they can follow you as well over. We put together a Twitter account for Ramon over at Tony's Picks Ramon. You can follow Ramon over there. I'll throw some picks up there for you. Let you know a little bit more about his service there as well. You can also catch Ramon on the morning steam on Wednesdays through Monday here at 9 a.m. Eastern time, as well as on the Discord.
Yeah, look for tennis action this week. I had no premiums today. First round of the Italian Open, so we are full on in effect, Tony, in the clay season. I'm glad I didn't. Definitely paying the price a little bit personally with a few L's in tennis today. So maybe I made the right move. No premiums, but I think I will be. I'm not going to not be on any in the Italian Open. And certainly the thing about also some of the tennis plays is you're never going to get anything crazy over, even $2. So I kind of start with the most closely rated games and work out from there, because those are what's going to be given out as premium plays. Nobody wants to be sitting there with, paying plays, $3 favorites or whatever. I saw Leylah Fernandez just ended up losing her match. So got some surprises certainly early on at the Italian Open. All right. Yeah, we'll be back with more Morning Steam tomorrow. Mindy and I will have a show 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central, 6 Pacific. And follow me at Tony's Picks Ramon. Be one of my 75 followers so far. Can't believe it. You guys want more free picks from me? Please consider subscribing to Tony's Picks Ramon. Send out the notification there and usually come up with something. Sometimes I go off the board a little bit. Like we did last night. So you get some different plays on there, minor league hockey playoffs, maybe some overnight baseball from Japan or Korea. So subscribe at Tony's Picks Ramon, get a few plays in there, and join me in the Discord. Like I said, I hang out there pretty much all night. I hear that bump bump, and that's when I know that someone has said something, typed something in. I don't want to miss it. Want to make sure I answer any questions or any concerns, so you can get on with me there in the Discord and interact with us here at Tony's Picks. So just appreciate the time today, Tony. Be back tomorrow with a show. See how we do, but just real happy with the way things went last night. I didn't necessarily guarantee we'd get back to the 7,000 number in one night, but sure enough, we did.
Yep, got to the 7,000 unit indeed, guys. So get signed up for Ramon Scott over at Tony's Picks and make a follow at Twitter, Tony's Picks Ramon. All right, have a great afternoon, evening. We'll catch up with you again tomorrow.
Thank you very much for your time, sir.
You got it. Ramon Scott here on Game Day Picks.